Alright, what's up guys? Sunday Chill Commentary, ONLYUSemeBLADE. You know I had to kind of come at you, and I had a little bit of a, kind of party a little bit this weekend, and it got old. It got old. I think, like, in the moment, it's amazing. And that's one thing about partiers is that, or anybody that's chasing, like, I don't want to say drugs, but, like, chasing highs, you know? Like, I think that a lot of people that play Call of Duty, we're kind of junkies. Like we do it to chase the high, to get that perfect game. I've talked about that before, so I'm not gonna dwell on that. But like lately, I feel like I've been winning but losing. Does that make sense? And I'm not actually appreciating the journey. I'm more like focused on the finish line, but not taking in the scenery kind of thing. And there's certain moments that everything's kind of built up for one certain moment. You could spend thousands of dollars on preparation for one moment. And I know that sounds a little silly or a little crazy, but that's honestly God's truth. Like, just everything's kind of a build up to a moment, and that's just kind of what you're doing. Like, everything leads up to one thing. And like a good example, like I remember, I think it was like a month ago, I did a video and I was talking about how I took a road trip or whatever to kind of clear my head. And you know, it's kind of like those Visa and MasterCard commercials where they say, hey, you know, a hot dog at a baseball game, a catcher's mitt, a hand, and you know, a moment with your son. It says fucking priceless. I don't. And it's just like priceless, you know. And it is kind of, it's sappy and it's shitty and as stupid as that sounds, that is kind of true. Because you know, the moments, you know, you might do a lot. Like, okay, so have you ever been at, I know a lot of my viewers are sometimes younger, so I'm going to say school, or, you know, they've been at work. Like, let's say work is a better analogy for me because I've been in school in a long-ass time. But, like, let's say you go to work, right? When you go to work, and as soon as you get there, you just don't like it, right? Well, what I've learned is that, let's say it's 8 hours. Eventually, those 8 hours will be up. Even though you're staring at the clock and you're bored and you're hating life at that particular moment, the 8 hours is eventually going to be up, and then you're going to be off. And that moment when you there's two moments that I love. The moment when you get in the car and start the car, and that little click when you take it from, you know, when you take it from park to reverse. Obviously you're gonna go, you might take it from park to drive or whatever, but just that click, you know, I'm out this bitch. That moment is amazing. That moment is surreal. I love it. You know, that swag when they finally, you know, at my bar, like they pay me, and I'm just like, I'm out this bitch, let's go. And I walk out to the car. That moment when you click the transmission and you drive and you're like gone. And then that moment when I throw my keys on the counter and sit down on my couch when I finally get home. That moment is amazing. And another thing that pisses me off is when you actually do get home and you just want to sit on the couch, you want to relax. And I know it sounds silly, but like, video games, like playing Call of Duty, isn't relaxing. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go soothe myself and I'm going to play some Call of Duty, it's gonna be fun. No, I'm trying to murder shit. You know, I'm trying to kill. And that's what, and you know what, I honestly think that is a positive thing, to try to have something to take aggression out of. I don't really have anything to be mad about, but I still have to take, you know, everyone has aggression, you know what I mean? And I think like a lot of people say, oh, Call of Duty's rage inducing, this and that. Just like, that's good though. That makes that those endorphins, I think everyone needs to have a little bit of rage come out of them. I think there's appropriate times, but also there's the thing where you know, people say, I don't care. I don't care. I think we all do care though sometimes, whether we like to say it or not. And I think the ability to care is also contingent of, all right, I'll give you a good example, and I'm going to use Call of Duty as a reference. Call of Duty 4, right? everything had a counter to it. Okay. Now, for me, the class that I always used was Bomb Squad, UAV Jammer, Extreme Conditioning. Okay. And so it got to that point where it's just like, whatever you want to throw at me, I'm going to counteract it. Okay. If you want to put up some claymores, I'm going to see your bombs. If you want to throw up a UAV to see my position, you're not going to find me. You want to poop out a martyrdom grenade? Tough shit, because I'm going to run away from it. So it got to this point where I could stop worrying about the mechanics of the game. You could stop worrying about the rules and stop worrying about that. And so at that point, you're not even playing against the game. You're just playing against the people. And so then I get, once that is aligned up, I get like Neo from the Matrix mode on them, where I feel that I can see their steps before they do them. Like I can predict what they're going to do, and I'm playing at a faster, better rate than everyone else on the battlefield. It's that point where you're not discouraged by the game, whether it be Life or Call of Duty. I know I make that analogy a lot, but to get to that Neo moment when you're just like, nope, nothing can faze me. I'm just doing me, and that's an awesome moment. That's a stellar moment and so I think like over the years I've noticed more and more people are complaining about the games, or complaining about the Call of Duty series. Oh, I want to go to Battlefield, or anything like that. The only reason I'm even talking about, I know said I wouldn't talk about Call of Duty during a Sunday chill, but I'm watching Call of Duty right now, and I admit it, I've fallen into that let's bitch about Call of Duty territory a lot, but at the same time, golden rule of Call of Duty is it's cool to do it shitty when it happens to you. But I think that we play it just because there are those moments when we can go Rambo. There are those moments when we can go Sandy Ravage. It just gets that moment where you're not even thinking about what you're doing. You're just doing it, and you're the king of the world at that moment. Think about it. When we work so hard and we put so much time and energy to possibly have moments where we don't care. Like a lot of times people talk about going to the beach or whatever like that, or they want to people travel. I was talking to someone was like saying, I want to go to Mexico. I want to travel to Mexico, and I want to just get drunk and shitty in Tijuana. And I'm like, can't you just do that here? And they're like, no, but it's the experience, It's that moment that is priceless. I know I'm super way off track, but remember when I was talking earlier about that road trip? I took that little road trip or whatever. There was money for gas. There was, whatever future I'm gonna have to put into the car for going on a road trip. Who knows? Transmission fluid. I don't know. Whatever. Obviously time spent and this and that. But like, there was a moment when I had Sade playing, and there was an outro part of Sade. And normally when I listen to my stereo, I listen to it at about 20. But actually, no, I listen to it like in the morning, or if I'm just like driving to the store and I don't want to piss anybody off, I just have it at 10. And then like if I really want to just really, really bump something, put it at 20. I had this at 35. So that's just frame reference. There you go. Bam. And it was loud. The person in the car with me wasn't saying anything. And we got lost in the moment. Like, honestly, it's one of those things where you kind of like, whoa, shit, that just happened. Like, almost like an outer body experience. And so, I don't know, like a lot of times we get mad about monetary stuff or what it costs to do this. I'm not talking about financially, but I'm talking about what it costs, physically, emotionally, whatever. We go through all these things to finally get that point to experience some magical moment where all the other stuff doesn't matter. You're in your own little world. Like, we try so hard to be part of this world, but at the same time, we want to set it up to the point where nothing else matters at that particular moment. And I think that's great. But also at the same time, man, like lately, the things I've been doing, partying, kicking it, people I choose to associate myself with or whatever. I'm not experiencing those moments, and when I do experience those moments, they're not as fulfilling. So, just time for a change. I go through this every year around this time, and luckily, I'm gonna travel. So, there you go, guys. ONLYUSemeBLADE Sunday chill commentary. I don't know. Just make sure that you set yourself up to have that moment, but also make sure you enjoy that moment, whatever your moment may be, and get your Neo Zen on. Alright, peace and buck grease.